get this tweet out. Get that squared away. I'm too lazy. You know what? I could just post it in Discord. Why not? I'm signing into Discord on this thing. Oops. There we go. That looks good. Alright. So last time, let's see what happened last time. Hikari, we decided to make a telescope. That's what happened. We decided to make a telescope for this 6 Stars Astronomy Club. We were looking for this piece. That was, I think, the evil one's ancient eye, or something like that. And then there was a random hot spring scene. And, oh yeah, the next important thing that we learned was that Hikari is supposedly moving overseas. So... oh yeah, the pleasant popping sound. This is exactly where we left off. Alright. A pleasant popping sound came from inside the pot, and with it, a delicious aroma wafted into the air. Ah, you're awake. Good morning. Still in her sleeping bag, Hikari rubbed her eyes. I actually can't wait for the soundtrack for this game to drop. From her place on the seat, Saya eased open her eyes as she started to wake up. Morning, Saya. You've got a little drool there. Wouldn't want to ruin that pretty face. I wiped Saya's mouth with a towel. Breakfast is almost ready, I said as I rattled the little pot. Waking up was hard when you've been forced to sleep in a weird position. The girls squinted against the warm sunlight shining through the grimy windows and began to rouse themselves. Here we go. I cut the heat and lifted the lid. Popcorn. White, fluffy popcorn came spilling out of the pan, provoking a cry of joy from Saya and Hikari. Homemade popcorn wasn't all that difficult to cook. Just lightly grease a pan, add some popping corn, cover, and set it to heat. What flavor do you want? I held up some powder packets. I tore open the caramel packet, sprinkled its contents on the popcorn, then closed the lid again and shook the pan around to mix it in. There's coffee too. water was boiling on another stove. Hikari poured a packet of instant coffee and some hot water into a cup.
お砂糖とミルクは入れる。はい、どうぞ。ありがとう。温まる。
Oh, just realized Zero is streaming Doki Doki Literature Club. It's only a matter of time. The mornings were cold around the end of autumn. Unlike at night, it felt like it went straight to your bones. Go ahead and dig in.
いただきます。いただきます。あ、うん。出来たてのポップコーン、おいしい。ぬくぬくで幸せな味だね。
Popcorn and instant coffee probably don't taste this good when you're at home. But on a morning like this, nothing could be more delicious. The three of us enjoyed our simple breakfast and managed to recover some of the body heat we'd lost during the night. Is that everything? I called back to the other two as I shouldered my bag and stepped outside.
大丈夫。
Hikari said as she stepped out of the train
あ
car.
れはどうするの？
The Ancient One's evil eye. Leave it here. We'll have to use a wheelbarrow or something to move it. There's no way I could carry something that heavy. I still couldn't work out how we got it here in the first place.
さあや、早くしなよ。待って、髪が。
After noticing her hair had gotten messed up, Saya took out a hand mirror and was now fighting a losing battle of trying to get herself back in order. I've had mornings like those. I feel like it's more common the longer your hair is, because back when I had like long hair, I actually used to be able to ponytail my hair. I don't know if that's like a unknown fact yet for the stream, but to put this out there, I actually did used to rock a full ponytail. Like it would actually be to around like my upper back, I guess, almost like my if you want to call them like the shoulder blades or whatever at the back. Like I used to actually have a full ponytail, and yeah, like my hair would sometimes be a complete mess. Although it is also pretty common when you're short hair. I guess what I notice it happens most is if you like bathe or shower right before sleeping or shortly before it, because then your hair is still wet and then it kind of just air dries against the pillow when you sleep. Either way, Hikari had been the same, but eventually made do with tying her hair back and waiting until she got home to fix it properly. We waited on the platform for Saya to join us. The morning sunlight was dazzling.
あー、体中痛い。けど超楽しかった。バカなことして思いっきり笑ってなんか昔に戻ったみたいだったね。何、どうしたの？なんで私に見とれてるの？
She said as she struck a pose. There is something I want to ask. Do you still like me?
は？
Hikari froze at the sudden question, and an idiotic smile plastered across her face.
えいや、何のことかな。
You remember that letter, right?
手紙？
The one you gave me after graduation.
あったね、そんなの。
Satisfied on that point, she went back to looking confused.
それがどうかした？
I know it was a long time ago, and things are different now, but I thought I'd just ask how you felt.
あの手紙、どうしたの？
Hikari seemed a little scared of how I might answer. I still haven't read it. Come on, who would read a love letter from someone who was about to move away? That would only make it all more painful. Besides, at this point I'd fallen out with Hikari. After giving it a lot of thought, I had decided not to read it. I'd ended up slipping it into an old textbook. Wow, look, A Beginner's Guide to Astronomy, and stuffed it away in the drawer.
そうなんだ。じゃあ、読まずに捨てちゃったんだね。
No, I've still got it. It'd be weird to throw it away, but I'll read it when I get home today. Not that it matters now. Hikari broke out into a cold sweat.
返してもらっていい？
No way.
なんでよ！
This is what you get for pretending to be an office lady and messing with my emotions.
ダメ、返して！マジで困るの！
I guess that letter was a skeleton in Hikari's closet, which gave me the upper hand. Not happening. Maybe if you delete your message log, I'll think about it.
消す！今すぐ消す！だからまた二人だけで仲良くしてる。
At some point, Saya had finished with her hair and was now standing with a sulky look on her face.
違うの。これはアキトが。もういいもん。
Saya turned on her heel and walked away.
ああ、待ってさや！違うんだって！
Hikari panicked as she ran after her. Hey, wait for me! Since we'd spent the night here and everything, I wanted to linger a little longer in our special place and soak in the nostalgic atmosphere. But I put that thought aside and followed Saya and Hikari. This wouldn't be the last time we'd come here, the three of us together. It no longer felt off limits, and I was already looking forward to the next trip. I took one last look at the old station. In the fresh morning light, it looked like new life had been breathed into it. Oh, we're back in elementary. So maybe this is where we're gonna find out about what exactly happened with that torn up notebook. Because apparently Hikari and I had some type of falling out or something. It was around 1 month after the three of us had first become friends. The second semester of 5th grade had finished, but we had been stargazing all through winter vacation. Since we didn't have school in the morning, we were allowed to stay out late and spend our nights outdoors with the telescope. We complained about the cold, but stayed out until dawn anyway, and soon became the closest of friends.
コタちゃん、お手。おかわり。おかわりだよ、コタちゃん。それは伏せだよ。そうじゃなくて、お腹見せるのも違うよ。
I can't tell if he's really smart or really stupid. Saya and I were playing with Kotaro in front of the Saotome candy store as usual. Hikari sure is late.
いつもなら一番乗りなのにね。
The forecast said it was going to be a clear night, so I'd called Hikari to tell her we were meeting up while it was still light to plan out our evening. She arrived a few minutes later, plodding along gloomily. Hikari?
どうしたの、ヒカリ？元気ないみたい。
As if she'd been waiting for Saya to ask, Hikari started to speak, sounding like she might burst into tears at any moment.
お父さんの会社なくなっちゃう。
What do you mean? Hikari began telling us about how the train line was being shut down, along with the company that ran it. That was where her dad worked.
ダムができるせいだ。線路が沈んじゃうから。
They can't... I stared at our local train station, dumbstruck. It was an old building that had stood here for decades. Even now, people used it every day to get around.
会社がなくなっちゃったらどうなっちゃうの？引っ越さなきゃいけなくなる。うち社宅だし、お父さんどこか別の鉄道会社で働くことになるだろうって。そしたらよその土地へ引っ越さなきゃならなくなるって。そんなことになったら私たち一緒にいられなくなる。
We gotta do something. Hikari silently and sadly shook her head. They can't... We'd all gotten so close.
ごめん。
Hikari turned away and ran from us. She dashed back down the same sidewalk she'd used to come to us earlier. All we could do was watch as she got further and further away.
光寝てた。
Hikari.
やっぱ帰ろっと。
Where are you going?
ハキト。
I arrived at the bridge to find Hikari waiting there like always. What, you going home already?
うん。
I caught her just as she was about to leave. I came closer and peered into Hikari's face. Her eyes were bloodshot. She'd probably been crying for a while now.
ハク、光。
As usual, Saya was last to the scene. Hey Saya, Hikari was just about to run away.
そうなの。別に逃げるわけじゃ。だって星なんて見る気になれないよ。
Hikari sounded uncharacteristically grumpy. What do you want to do, Hikari?
どうって？
Do you want to move away, or...?
やだよ。ここにいたい。アキトとサヤともっともっと星が見たい。
Saya and I glanced at each other and nodded. So all we have to do is stop them from building the dam. That way, your dad's trade line won't have to close, right?
そりゃそうだけど。
If the dam were to be built, this whole area would be buried under the reservoir's water. When Hikari first told me that, I didn't know how to feel. To be honest, I wasn't sure how to react since I never really felt attached to this place. But now I knew. The railway that was so dear to Hikari was important to me too. The view of the fields and mountains on the way to school, the school itself, the candy store, they were sights you might find all over the country, but I'd grown to love them. In just a few short months, they'd become part of countless precious memories. Memories of the time we three had spent together. Losing one of our group now would be like losing a huge portion of those memories.
でも、そんなのどうやってやるの？はっ！まさか、ダムに爆弾仕掛けるとか？
Of course. Explosions are always the answer to every problem. No, I'm kidding. Hikari went white as a sheet. Don't be stupid. Where would we even get dynamite?
他にどんな方法が？自由研究の宿題だよ。
Saya said with an air of importance.
ダムの研究するの？
No, no. If there's one thing we do know about, it's what?
星？
Saya and I nodded.
星の自由研究をやるの。それでね、コンクールで優勝するんだよ。
For once, Saya was brimming with confidence. After Hikari had run off that afternoon, the two of us had discussed in depth how we could stop the dam from being constructed. I cry every time. I hate this girl. What, Hikari? She's fine right now. We talked about blowing it up, building a bridge across the water for the train to run on, and other plans that were just as unrealistic. But eventually, Saya came up with an idea that might work.
夏休みの宿題の自由研究で優秀なのは市のコンクールに出されるの知ってる？うん、知ってる。お姉ちゃんが昔選ばれたことあった。
And do you know what the winner of that contest gets?
わかんない。
Also, welcome to
お
the
姉ちゃ
stream.
ん落選して努力賞の鉛筆と消しゴムもらっただけだったから。市長さんから表彰状がもらえるんだよ。
Don't you get it? We get to meet the mayor. Hikari finally saw what we were getting at.
市長さんに直接お願いするのか。それだけじゃないよ。優勝作品は地元の新聞にも紹介されたりするの。 されるの？そこでダム反対って訴えるんだよ、3人で。そしたらやめてくれるかも。
If it's coming from 3 great contest-winning students, they'd actually listen to what we have to say. Actually, I knew we didn't have a better plan than this. It was the best thing 3 kids could do.
どうかな。
Hikari? Ah, tears were welling up in the corners of Hikari's eyes. But they weren't like the tears of sorrow we'd seen earlier that day.
ありがとう、誰とも。私のために。
Duh, of course we would. Besides, we don't want to lose you, Hikari, right?
私もこの3人でずーっと一緒にいたい。
Unable to hold back her emotions, Hikari hugged us both close. Wow, 3 people will change the world? Well, more like the fate of the town, but as we already know from the future, this is going to flop. Because the dam does end up getting built. Oh, whoa.
やろう、自由研究。やろう、天体観測。
Yeah, it'll be like a trip through the galaxy. We'll write it all down.
行こう、今夜はいい観測日和だよ。
We'd always enjoyed watching the stars, but that was the day we took our first real steps into the world of astronomy. Our journey across the universe, one star at a time. From then on, our days in the Mikazuki Astronomy Club took on a new sense of purpose. And present time.
設計図見ました。あの程度ならうちにある工具でできそうです。
Really? That'd be great.
ブログ公開しました。まだプレオープン状態ですが。さすがのりちゃん先輩、仕事が早い。新生むつら星の会公式サイト開設記念パーティーをしなければいけないわね。吉岡、すぐに手配しなさい。
姫さん、そういうのいいから。それより次集まるのいつだっけ？
次の会合は
Hey, it was a duck. That was Hat. If my heart had... No, I'm kidding.
へえ、これがその観測記録なんだ。
The Six Stars Club had gathered in Hoshino Daiichi's rundown astronomy club room. Everyone was carefully examining the book. That torn and battered old notebook. The planetary observation journal we'd made as kids.
1年もかけて惑星の軌道や見え方を詳細に記録してあります。
これはすごいですね。
It seemed like they were really surprised at the quality of our work as kids. Meanwhile, I sat to one side, smoothing out the Ancient One's evil eye.
スケッチにも色が塗られていて可愛らしいですわね。端々のコメントも面白いですよ。これなんて。
This is our own original constellation. We call it the Big Dumpling.
それ書いたの私だ。
Oh, hey, look, it's Corona.
アキトたちと遊んでて夕飯の餃子を食べ損ねて悔しかったから正座にしてやったんだよね。
I like how she's kind of just popping in from the background.
正座って自分で勝手に作ってもいいの？
Corona spoke up from her position at the back where she was jumping up and down, desperately trying to get a look at the notebook.
世界共通の星座として88個の星座が定められているけれど、もともとは大昔の人々が思い思いに空想したのが始まり。
But yeah, currently there have been no like branch points or choices yet, and honestly at this current moment I am completely undecided on a route. The 4 routes are this one, Orihime, Corona, and then Hikari and Saya. I'm pretty sure are the only routes in this game. I might be eliminating Orihime for now, so it's either Corona, or it's going to be a something of Corona, Hikari, or Saya. One of those 3. But I'm still undecided. I'll just have to see how the rest of this plays out. All I know is that
想像の赴くままに星をつないで自分たちだけの星座を作ることが自由なのよ。
Corona's route will likely be a bit hilarious because she's the younger sister of the old bully dude. What's his face? I know his name, I just forgot. Well, this bully dude, and she's his younger sister, so. Corona, what was her last name? Kusakabe. And what was his? Takeichi, there you go. See, I knew I'd remember. Takeichi's little sister is Corona here. Corona was deeply moved, though I don't think the big dumpling was responsible for that. Even if it was supposed to be a pun, it was a pretty bad one.
この記録を星のダム建設反対のために
Yeah, that was our plan. I spoke with a bitter smile. Hikari mirrored my expression. Looking back on it now, trying to win a competition and get an audience with the mayor was a pretty dumb idea. As if that would have had any effect on a big project like a dam's construction. It was the best we could come up with back then, I said as I remembered the piece of glass I'd been sanding down, trying to get the surface more curved. At first, we recorded our observations over half a year and used it as our 6th grade summer homework. It was picked as the best in school and sent to the citywide contest, but it didn't get far. So we decided to try for an even better project on the same topic for our winter vacation homework. The end result was this notebook. We didn't just increase the time scale, we also made our observations more detailed and did extra research to supplement them. Construction on the dam was still a long way from starting, and we were sure we'd still be in time to stop it.
やるね、あんたたち。
Narue, the student from Nishi High, seemed a little envious.
私だってこんなちゃんとした観測記録つけたことないよ。
自分もです。いつも星を眺めるだけで観測らしいことは一度も。
They were treating Hikari and me like celebrities. Really, it's nothing. But maybe they were right. Odds are, even adult astronomy amateurs would struggle to make something like this. It was a whole year's worth of data after all. We made it with the kind of passion only kids could keep up. Not to mention, we had a definite goal in mind and lots of free time.
私たちも負けてはいられないわね。このノートのような素晴らしい観測記録を残していきましょう。いい目標ができましたわ。ねえ、アキニ、このノートなんで破れてるの？
Well, you see, I didn't really want to explain that right now.
いろいろあったのよ。余計な詮索するんじゃないの。
Adorableness.
ねえ、これあんたら二人でつけてたのかい？
違います。もう一人。かよいつまちゃんだ。やっほー。
Speaking of which, everyone looked confused about how I could tell someone was coming before the door had even opened. Sorry. Their eyes all went to the girl in the Seisen uniform as she came into the room. Having unexpectedly become the center of attention, Saya took a surprised step back. She was on the verge of turning to run, but Hikari and I caught her on either side and dragged her in. This is Saya, the Mikazuki Astronomy Club's conscience.
毒もキュービ少女のはじめまして、天の川。
Hey, hold on, use a secret name like we told you. Saya blushed at my whispered instruction.
本当に言わなきゃダメなの？
You do if you want to join.
聖戦女子天文部アステローペの天の川さやです。
Esterope. Saya topped off her introduction with a little bow while the others gasped in admiration.
不思議な瞳をしてますね。
本当ですね。
これまたクオリティ高いのが来たわね。ちょっと姫さんと並んでみて。
何ですの？
いい勝負だわ。
アイドルユニットみたいです。
Idol unit, let's go.
姫ちゃんの方が美人だよ。
Lured in by the Dubsonian project, Nishihai and Monomisawa had rejoined the Six Stars Club. Corona had also joined up as a junior member, and we had received one more application. Saya Amadogawa of Asterope from the Seisen Girls Astronomy Club. After that night at the secret observatory, Saya had decided to join Seisen's astronomy club.
ついにムツラ星が勢ぞろいしましたわ。コロナちゃんがいるから七つ星じゃないでしょうか。
お、じゃあこれでプレアデス7姉妹が揃ったってことですね。
何それ何それ。あなたにも特別な名を授けましょう。その名はメローペ。プレアデス7姉妹の末の妹よ。メローペ、なんかかっこいい。
Corona's eyes lit up with excitement. That's a nice moment. She was definitely the youngest of the group.
それではムツラ星会議を始めましょうか。
I stopped my glass work and went to join the others.
今日集まっていただいたのは他でもない私たちの天体望遠鏡自作プロジェクトについて話し合うためです。
計画書見たよ。ちょっと面白そうだって思った。
Narue chipped in, making the reasons for their return plain. Kisuke, you said you've already looked at the plans, right?
ええ、工具はうちの学校にあるもので事足ります。もし足りなくても先輩や先生に相談すれば借りられると思うんです。
Well, that's a technical school for you. I was glad that they were on our side.
となるとあとは材料と費用ですね。
Donations hadn't been as forthcoming as we'd expected. Getting money out of former members wasn't easy, even the ones who were still into astronomy. And several had given it up and didn't feel much affinity for the Six Stars Club anymore.
そこは廃材とか集めてきて代用すればいいんじゃない？教頭に自転車のホイールが使えるんだっけ？他にも余った木材とかなら頼んだらもらえそう。
Keisuke and the others were surprised at how fast Saya and Hikari fired off suggestions. See, we tried to make one once before, but it didn't work out so well.
見た目にこだわらないなら廃材で十分だと思います。
ならば手分けしてみんなで集めましょう。
We want to keep our costs as close to zero as possible. Expenses are always going to be an issue for any club. More so for a minor club like this on the verge of being shut down. Even if it was only breadcrumbs, we had to use it wisely. We were lucky the school still allowed us to use this room, let alone allocated us any funding.
それで市況の方はどうなっていますか？
This. I pointed to the glass discs I've been working on.
これが前に話していた何でしたっけ？
Hikari and I both look at Saya.
エンシェントイリリアイトス。
Everyone was bewildered at this strange outburst, but continued the conversation as if they hadn't heard anything.
せめて何か言ってほしかった。
これが主教になるのかい？
It still needs some work. But I've been smoothing it down. I demonstrated to the other members of the meeting how I'd been sanding the glass to get it into the right shape. The surface was already starting to curve inward very slightly. Wow, so that...
こうやって作るんですか。大変そうですね。
Yeah, this is back-breaking labor. I grumbled while taking a moment to relax my stiff hands. But an objective mirror has to be concave. This was just something I had to do. There were several stages involved in the process. The first step was rubbing it down with a rough abrasive. Once I'd got the curvature right, I'd have to use materials with a finer and finer granularity to get a smooth finish. Then I'd use Foucault's knife edge test to check the surface before finally moving on to the coating process. This would have been easy with specialized machinery, but unfortunately I had to do it all by hand. Now if only you guys went to the school and If My Heart Had Wings. Those guys have like pretty much all the machinery. They have like a robotics club. Oh my goodness. It was demanding, monotonous work.
あ、そうだ。写真撮っとくよ。
それ後で送ってください。ブログに載せますから。
あいよー。
ねえねえピカリン、宗教って何？宗教ってのは要するに一番大事な鏡だよ。全然わかんない。アキト、説明してやって。
Okay, listen up, Corona. The objective mirror, or primary mirror, is the most important part of the whole telescope.
鏡なの？レンズじゃなくて？
Do you know what a reflecting telescope is? Corona shook her head. Can't say I expected her to know. Broadly speaking, there are two kinds of telescope. First, there's this kind. I pointed to the neglected telescope in the corner of the room. This is a refracting telescope. When you think of a telescope, you probably imagine one like this. But the one we're making is the other kind, a reflector. A shine, if you're not kidding. Refractors are probably the most well-known type, especially among amateurs. Typically, they're made of interlocking cylindrical chambers and a lens used like a magnifying glass for gathering light, which forms an image. It's the same principle used in glasses or camera lenses. Reflectors, however, don't use lenses. Instead, they use large curved mirrors to reflect light. Isaac Newton is usually credited with creating the prototype for modern reflecting telescopes. And so, they're also referred to as Newtonian telescopes. Reflectors were made as an alternative to the bulky refractors. These had to be pretty huge due to technical limitations. Some were even as tall as 60 meters. 60 meters? I hope I'm reading. Another advantage is that they don't suffer from chromatic aberration, a distortion that causes colors to come out wrong. And even the larger models are comparatively cheap to make. A Dobsonian is one kind of Newtonian reflector.
これが反射望遠鏡ですわ。どうぞ。
Orihime brought up an image on her tablet and handed it to Corona.
なんかバズーカ砲みたい。
I guess the ones with wider diameter mirrors do kind of resemble huge gun barrels. Have you heard of the Hubble Space Telescope, Corona?
うん、知ってる。宇宙を飛んでたんだよね。
Hey look, peace. Let's go. That's also a reflecting telescope. It's a huge reflecting telescope in orbit around the Earth. Corona took another look at the image on the
こ
tablet.
れが宇宙に浮いてたんだ。すごいだろう。
Generally speaking, the structure of the Hubble telescope is the same as a Dobsonian we were making. It uses a large concave mirror to gather light and reflect back images. So the Hubble Space Telescope is just a huge reflecting telescope floating through space. While not the only space telescope, the Hubble is the largest visible light reflecting space telescope. It's a really special piece of technology.
君たちすごいもの作ってるんだね。
Of course, we wouldn't be sending this one into orbit, but it was nice to see someone so impressed by our idea. The good mood was quickly spread to the rest of the room. And on that note, can I get someone else to take over sanding for a while? I shook my poor, tired hands a little.
私がやりますわ。
大丈夫かい姫さん、力仕事だよ。
問題ありませんわ。今日はこのために来たんですから。
Brimming with enthusiasm, Orihime rolled up her sleeves and took a seat.
どうやって磨きますの？
Okay, well... The others also leaned in to listen as I gave Orihime instructions.
ふーん。本当にアキトここに住んでるんだ。
All except one. Hikari had slipped away from the crowd and was wandering around the room. She opened up a drawer, took a look at the underwear inside, and nodded to herself. I would never have gotten away with doing that in a girl's room. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
いいえ、別に。どうぞお構いなく。
She continued ambling around, picking up and putting down boxes from a pile in the corner.
違うか。
You'd think I'd hide it in such an obvious spot? I knew exactly what Hikari was looking for. The love letter.
別にそういうんじゃないもん。アキトの現在の生活ぶりを見てみようと思っただけで。
Abandoning her search for now, Hikari looked over at the old telescope.
あれ？これもしかしてあの望遠鏡？うわー、懐かしい。ねえねえ、さや。何、光？ほら見てこれ。
It may have looked like club property in that room, but this was in fact the telescope my mom and dad had bought for me when I was a kid. Distracted by this remnant from our past, Hikari seemed to completely forget about what she was doing before. Thank goodness.
お、なんだこの騒ぎは。
Oh, and speaking of which, this is Takeichi. Older Takeichi. The brat that used to bully us. I do like his blazer though, that's a nice blazer. I'm actually rocking a blazer myself at the moment. I like blazers. I own more blazers, but they're expensive. But I love blazers. Takeichi came in through the still open door. I guess he wasn't used to this room sounding so lively.
あ、お兄ちゃんだ。
なんでコロナがいるんだよ。
いいでしょ、別に。あっち行ってて。
誰？あんたも天文部？
いや、俺はバスケ部っす。お姉さんこそ誰っすか？その制服、西高？
天文部じゃないなら興味なし。
Narue quickly lost interest in Takeichi and wouldn't even spare him a passing glance. Hey, Take, I'm kinda in the middle of something right now.
おい、アキト、ちょっと来い。
What? I told you I'm busy here.
いいから。誰だ？今のきつそうなお姉様は。
Huh? You mean Narue? Takeichi peered back into the room through the open door. Narue had her camera out and was taking a picture of Orihime working on the mirror.
いい。
What?
あのお姉様だよ。蔑むようなきつい眼差し、そっけない態度。
This is the stuff that Soul says about Ron all the time. Shibuki Ron.
性格悪そうでさ、めちゃくちゃ可愛いじゃねえか。
Was that supposed to be a compliment?
なあ、頼むよ親友。軽く紹介とか。おいで。
よー、タケ、久しぶり。
久しぶり。
いってって。何すんだこの女。
あんたタケでしょ？
Takeichi stared intently at the girl who just given him a hearty slap on the back.
おいアキト、まさかこれ。
これとはなんだこれとは。
I sighed and nodded. Yeah,
マジであのチンチクリンだった生き物が。
that little pip.
にひひ、そうだよ、光だよ。あんたもでかくなったね、タケ。
いて、これバカ力で叩くな。マジで痛えって。
Much did it.
なーに？あんたたち昔は仲悪かったのに今はつるんでるの？
ああ、そうだよ。悪いか？
Oh yeah, we used to really be at each other's throats. How did we end up being friends?
忘れたよ。そんな昔の話。
なんかいいね、そういうの。男の子って感じする。
Where's the Takeichi route?
ねえ、こそこそと何の話してたの？
Take's got his eye on the girl from Nishi.
ああ！
Takeichi panicked and shoved his hand over my mouth.
言うなバカ。光なんかに知られたら絶対ろくでもないことになるに決まってるだろ。
I guess you're right. It was too late though.
西高の？あ、もしかして。
Oops. Hikari smirked.
お前には関係ねえよ。じゃあな、あばよ。
Takeichi ran off, or rather ran away, down the corridor. He must have had practice to go to or something.
なーにあいつ。久しぶりに会ったのに釣れないね。
Can't blame him. You're kinda like his natural enemy.
人をマングースみたいに言わないでよね。
Sometimes Hikari had no clue about the effect she had on people. Sorry everyone, I need to get to work.
夜のアルバイト？え、そういうのやってるの？
It's a normal job, don't get any weird ideas. But I am sorry to invite you all here, then ran out on you. But I'm sorry to invite you all here, then ran out on you. Yeah, that.
いえ、僕もそろそろ帰らないといけない時間でしたので。
家が遠い人は帰るのに時間もかかりますし、ちょうどよろしいのではないかと。
Honoka and Orihime exchanged a look.
それではお開きにしましょうか。今日はたくさんの収穫があったわ。
I like productivity.
ムツラ星が集い、7つ目の星まで加わって、私たちの偉大な計画がついに動き出した。
She was right. We decided on how to focus our efforts from here, and the project was starting to take on a more definite shape. Everyone was incredibly enthusiastic. It was encouraging progress.
そして素晴らしいものも見せていただきましたわ。
Orihime said as she looked towards Hikari.
そんなのあったっけ？さやのことか。特務級の美少女だもんね。
違うと思う。あなた方3人が書いた惑星観測ノートですわ。実績あるメンバーが加わったことで未来への展望も開けました。だね。悔しいけど認めるよ。あんたたちのこと。
感服しました。
ほうき星さんってすごい子だったのね。
If seeing that notebook had helped motivate the other members, we were happy too.
でもさ、主教磨き結構かかりそうじゃん。このペースだといつまで経っても完成しないんじゃないの？
It was definitely going to take a lot of time. After all, trying to wear down glass just by sanding it was a pretty overwhelming prospect. Not to mention that this was a big hunk of glass, maybe 40 centimeters in diameter. Sanding it down for hours at a time every day would not be easy on me.
主教磨きは我々近隣のメンバーができる限り協力して取り組みましょう。私も手伝うよ、アキトくん。
コロナだってやるよ、アキに。じゃあ私も。
あんた近くないでしょうが。
帰れなくなったら止めてね。
No way. You just want an excuse to go through my stuff again.
じゃあさやんち泊まるもん。
いいよ。お母さん、光に会いたがってた。
本当？じゃあ今度遊びに行くね。
仲がいいのね。 しいですわ。じゃあ帰りましょうか。
それではまた。
お疲れさん。
お疲れ様でした。皆様、ごきげんよう。
The others left to catch their buses and trains home. Hikari, aren't you going with Noriko?
先生に挨拶して帰ろうかなって。ようこったろー。
Hikari ran off toward Kotaro. That Shiba is not a teacher. Jeez, you just do whatever you want. Now that it was just the three of us, Saya let out a heavy sigh. She could be so shy. It must have been hard for her being around so many new people. Thanks for coming today,
自分で決めたことだから。
Saya said as she shook her head. She already knew that Hikari was going to have to move again. We'd all met up and talked about it after that night.
そんな、せっかくまた会えたのに。ごめん、さや。
And it's overseas this time too.
東南アジアの国なんだけどね。鉄道関係の技術協力のためだって言ってた。
After his old place was shut down, Hikari's dad had found work at another railway company. He loved trains so much, but his new job was mostly desk work, so there weren't a lot of opportunities for him to spend time out in the field. That's when he got transferred to an overseas branch. Anyone else might feel like they'd drawn the short straw,
また
however...
鉄道に触れられるのが嬉しいみたい。向こうには昔日本で走ってた車両が払い下げられて現役で走ってるらしくってさ。それも嬉しいらしいよ。
Hikari was getting excited too. Hikari had always shared her dad's love for trains. After reading Night on the Galactic Railroad, she became interested in stars too.
どのくらいの間向こうへ行くの？最短で1年くらい。延長もあるかもって言ってた。
At first, her dad was going to move over there alone, but Hikari had offered to go with him. Neither of her parents had objected. Living abroad would be a good experience for her, they'd said. When are you leaving?
冬休みになったら。年内かどうかはまだわからないけど。あと1ヶ月もないじゃない。
Hikari looked troubled when she saw how down Saya was.
むつら星の会のこと知ってまた2人に会いたくて参加してみたんだけど、あんなことがあったし昔みたいに接してくれるとは思ってなかったんだ。ちょっと失敗だったかな。そんなことない。だって光がそうしてくれなかったらもう会えなくなってたかもしれないんだもん。さや、私も天文部入る。それでむつら星の会にも参加する。また一緒に見よう、星を。
Hikari's eyes filled with tears of joy.
やっぱりあんたは私の一番の親友だよ。
We had to finish the Dobsonian by the end of the year. Our telescope's first light would probably be the last chance we'd had to look up at the stars with Hikari. And that's if we managed to get it finished. Otherwise, Hikari will have left the country by the time it's completed.
試供磨き、私も手伝うからね。
Are you sure? It's pretty tough.
わかってる。でも頑張るからやり方教えて。
Okay, sure thing. While we carried on our conversation, the store's automatic door opened up. A young-ish woman came out from the back of the shop.
店の前でくっちゃべられると迷惑なんですけど。
ごめんなさい。
っていうか、くっちゃべるなら店の中でしなさいよ。その方があんたも時給もらえてラッキーでしょうに。
Get paid for... With a face that said, "Enough is enough," Miss Miharu yanked off her apron.
はい。
Sure. Staying at work for so long must have really gotten to her. Miss Miharu would usually take my shift if I wasn't able to make it to work. She was the whole reason I could make it to the Six Stars Club meetings. I was really grateful, but I was also worried about the toll it might be taking on her.
あ、先生、こんばんは。
なんだ、ほうき星か。あんよ、こんばんは。っていうか。
Suddenly nervous, Hikari stood at attention while Miss Miharu prowled around her, examining her closely.
ねえ、本当にあのほうき星？
本当ですよ、光です。
Hikari flinched when Miss Miharu squeezed her chest.
詰め物じゃない。
なんでそこで腑に落ちないって顔するんですか。私のおっぱいが成長してちゃ変ですか。
いやだって昔のあった男子かもって疑わしい時あったし。
失言だ、問題発言っていうか、先生こそ本当に早乙女先生なんです？
どこからどう見てもあんたたちの大好きな早乙女先生でしょうに。
How about everything? In the past few years, she changed in just about every way possible. Hey, Miss Miharu, we just got back from a Six Stars Club meeting. Things are starting to shape up, so everyone's really excited. We just need to find enough materials to make the lens barrel and mount.
そう。試供の研磨はどうなの？
Looks like that's gonna work out thanks to you. Sanding and polishing a mirror wasn't something you could just pick up right away, but Miss Miharu had set me up with someone who had some experience with it. The Six Stars Club blog is up now, too, so take a look if you have time.
なんで私が？
You're our advisor now, right? I mean, I'm more the advisor type, you know? I'm more the advisor type, you know? I'm more the advisor type, you know? Miss Miharu clenched her fist in frustration. A little while ago, we'd given our former teacher the title of advisor to the new Six Stars Club. It was the day after we'd received donations for our Dubsonian project from former members. We hadn't managed to raise as much money as we'd been hoping. Our frustration was nothing compared to Miss Miharu's though. After I forked out all my hard-earned cash, she had been on the verge of storming off to complain to her old classmates. One response had stood out though. If you're going to call yourselves the Six Stars Club, you should have a proper sponsor or something. He could be some kind of troublemaker or something. So we roped Miss Miharu into becoming our advisor. She lives close by and has a lot of free time, so she was a natural choice. You just have to come by and show your face every so often.
気が向いたらね。
Miss Miharu grunted, the memory of her bad experience with kids written on her face.
働いたら具合悪くなってきちゃった。こたつでみかん食べながらテレビ見ないと死んじゃうわ。
Miss Miharu flexed her aching shoulders and disappeared back into the store. I was about to follow when Hikari tugged on my sleeve.
ねえ、あれ本当に早乙女先生？
Sorry to break it to you, but yes, no doubt about it.
妖怪に取りつかれてるんじゃないの？肩が重そうだったし、一度お祓いに行った方が。
Hikari still couldn't bear to accept the reality of the situation.
優しい先生に会いたかったら先生が働いてない時に来るといいよ。あと先生にまだまだ若いですよって言っちゃダメだからね。
わかった。それじゃあ私帰るね。
私も。
Be careful on the way home, okay?
ありがとう、ハクトくん。またね。
じゃあね、バイバイ。
Hikari headed toward the train station while Saya walked in the direction of her house. Okay, guess I'd better get to work. I felt bad for canceling my shifts, but I would make up for that by working extra hard. See you later. After finishing my shift, I headed back to school like always. As I walked through the darkened corridors, I checked on the Six Stars Club chat log.
早速ブログ更新しました。ジーナさん、写真ありがとうございました。
わあ、いいじゃんいいじゃん。やっぱりモデルが美人だと映えるね。
お疲れ様です、加納さん。写真綺麗に撮れていますね、ジンノさん。
もう更新したの？後で見るね。
今日はありがとうございました。天の川さやです。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくね、美少女ちゃん。
よろしくお願いします。
I should take a look at it too. They were kind of a weird bunch, but they all had something special to bring to the table. I never thought they'd mesh together so well. I had to do my best too. Huh? The door is open. I could have sworn that I'd locked it behind me. But maybe I'd forgotten in the rush of everyone leaving? I had a bad feeling as I opened the door. A weird scratching sound rang out from somewhere inside the pitch black room. What's that sound? A school at night is a pretty standard horror setting. It had been nearly 6 months since I started living here. I couldn't say I hadn't noticed how creepy it could get. Is someone there? There was no reply. All I heard was... Oh my god, it's Orihime. Despite the cold weather, I broke out in a sweat as I slowly reached my hand toward the light switch. Orihime? My cry of alarm finally got Orihime's attention.
あら、空見くん。
Of course it's me! What are you doing here? She dazedly looked down at the mirror in her hands, as if she wasn't too sure what she'd been doing either.
ああ、主教磨きをやってましたの。
For how long?
ずっと。
Now that I thought of it, Orihime hadn't left the room with the others. That meant that she'd been here sanding the mirror since then? And you got so into it you didn't even put the lights on? She hadn't noticed when I'd come into the room either.
私、夢中になると周りが見えなくなることがあって。
She giggled like it was nothing. Don't just shrug it off like that. You must be tired. Are your hands okay? I took Orihime's hands in mine. They're all red. Don't they hurt?
そういえば、なんだかジンジンするわ。
Her once smooth hands had gotten rough, the skin peeling in places. I dragged Orihime to the faucet in the corridor. You've got to take better care of your hands.
早く私たちの望遠鏡を完成させたいんだもの。
I get that, but you can't push yourself too hard.
はーい。
Alright, this character is actually getting pretty good. I turned on the tap and washed Orihime's hands. Though if I'd have thought about it, she probably could have done that herself. Here's a towel.
ありがとう。
The buses have stopped running, but I could give you a ride on my bike. Where do you live?
それより、私、お話がしたいわ。
Sure.
あなたとは一度、ゆっくりと話してみたかったのよ。
She led the way back into the room. Sighing to myself, I followed. Once inside, I started preparations for dinner. Just like every night, I heated up a can on my camping stove and boiled water for noodles in my electric kettle. I'll take you home after I finish this. We can talk and eat, no sense wasting time.
それが夕飯ですの？
Yeah. I kind of wanted to add, got a problem with that, but settled for slipping down my noodles instead. This was how I liked my meal times. I wasn't lonely at all.
私としたことが。
Are you hungry? That was a silly question. She'd been sitting here sanding glass since the afternoon. Of course she was hungry. Would you like some?
いいんですの？
Orihime picked up a cup of noodles and walked over to the kettle.
これが
Don't tell me you've never had them before.
ええ、初めてですわ。
She poured in the hot water and stared at the paper cup, fascinated. She really was the rich girl type. Okay, that's 3 minutes.
もうできましたの？
Orihime timidly peeled off the lid. Orihimely. Are you okay?
ちょっと暑かっただけですわ。
Here, I'll get it for you. I opened the lid for her. Here you
あ
go.
りがとう。
I split her disposable chopsticks just in case she wasn't used to them either. So what do you want to talk about? Hear that, Hikari? In my mind, I was shouting up to the heavens. High-class ladies don't slurp their noodles, they sip them! This girl's manners were a world away from the way my old friend had devoured her food like a ravenous animal. God damn! Dude, chill! Orihime was looking at the brand written on the cup.
お母様にも教えて差し上げないと。
For you, Josh. She seemed to like them, but I doubt her classy parents would be happy about me introducing her to this kind of stuff. So, you said you wanted to talk.
お話というほどでもないわ。あなたがどんな方なのかもっとよく知りたいと思っただけよ。
Oh, okay. Where should I start? Hearing that from such a beautiful girl made me a little nervous. But she seemed genuinely interested. What harm could there be in just talking? Well, as you can see, I'm just a regular guy.
天文部の部室に住み着いていて、星に詳しく影から私たちを導こうとしてくれる星を見ない天文部員。さっぱりわかりませんわ。
I don't blame you. When you put it like that, even I found it a little confusing. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not really sure how I ended up like this myself. What was I doing with my life? Actually, I'd started to get a stronger sense of purpose lately. A more definite idea of where I wanted to go. And that was all thanks to the Six Stars Club, and reuniting with Hikari.
ひかりさんやさやさんとは幼馴染なんですのね。
Yeah, we're all from Mikazuki Village.
三日月村。
That town's not around anymore. It's where the Hoshino Dam is now. We used to watch the stars together all the time.
あのノートね。あれは素敵な観測記録だったわ。見ているこっちまでワクワクしてくるような。きっと楽しかったでしょうね。夜ごとに仲間たちと同じ星空を見上げて語らい、それをノートに書き留める。
Orihime spoke as if in a dream. I couldn't help but smile. You really do love the stars, don't you? What was it that helped spark your interest in them?
お母様の影響よ。子供の頃、よく星座神話を語って聞かせてくれたの。
So that's how you got into the stars. People get into astronomy for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes it's because of the beauty of the stars themselves or the stories surrounding them. Others are drawn in by the technology such as the telescopes and cameras or the idea of exploring space. The Six Stars Club had examples of both types of people. There was Narue from Nishi High who was crazy about gadgets, while Morimisawa was Keisuke admired the stars and knew all about mythology.
神話だけじゃなく、星の世界そのものにのめり込むようになったのは天文部に入部してからだったわ。先輩たちに連れられて行った天体観測会で初めて望遠鏡で星を見たの。最初何が楽しいのか分からずにいた私に先輩は教えてくれたわ。そこに見えている光が一体何であるのかを。
Teach you.
夜空に瞬く星たちはただの小さな光じゃない。一つ一つが太陽のような星だったり銀河だったり
picture doesn't look even. God dang it. Oh, whatever. That's the best as I'm going to get it. It's still like a bit off to like this side or something. I don't like it. Yeah.
地球の外側には広大な宇宙が広がっている。それが想像できるようになってたった一晩で世界が一変したような気がしたの。
I understand what you mean. The way you view the night sky changes completely.
今の私がいるのは先輩たちのおかげなのよ。
Orihime had a nostalgic look on her face. Is that why you decided to revive the Six Stars Club too? I guess being inspired by a fellow student like that had made her want to do something for future generations too.
そうかもしれないわね。
She laughed away my question. This girl could be a little flaky, and sometimes it was obvious how little she knew about the world, but her heart was in the right place. I really like the way you look when you're watching the stars. The joy you're feeling just shines through. When we were kids, Hikari would always look straight at the stars as if she were traveling toward them. On the other hand, Orihime looked as though she wanted to gather up all the stars into her gaze. They were similar, but subtly different. I guess I surprised her with my comment. It had just slipped out. I hope she hadn't taken it the wrong way. The two of us were alone in that room. I didn't want it to seem like I was making a move on her or anything. Well, what I mean is...
ありがとうですわ。
Orihime smiled happily. There was no hidden meaning lurking behind it. She was just genuinely happy.
そうだわ。
It seemed like she'd suddenly had an idea. She took out her cell phone and aimed the camera at the noodle cup. Some people take photos of everything. I guess rich girls are no different. Maybe this was Orihime's way of commemorating her first time eating instant noodles. She put away her phone, still
カッ
smiling.
プ麺なうですわ。
Oh my god, hashtag cup noodles. Let's go, let's get that trending. Hashtag cup noodles. Oh, I should actually... I'm gonna screenshot that and tweet that later. Keep on the lookout, guys. As she spoke, I felt my own phone vibrate. Did you just...
カップ麺なう初体験なう。
Did you really have to write that? With a photo too? My phone continued to vibrate as replies came in.
こんな時間にどこにいらっしゃるのですか、会長。そこアキトんとこの部室だよね。どういうことアキト、説明しなさい。
おいおいおい、こいつは穏やかじゃないね。今夜はお泊まり？
ねえアキトくん、今からそっち行っていい？
Well, that escalated quickly. I couldn't try to deny it. Part of my face was in that photo, and there are all kinds of other hints in the background that gave away the location.
美味しいですわよ。
Orihime continued to write about her first noodles. My phone wouldn't stop vibrating! She broke my notifications! Oh my god, this is just like that time when I was TweetDeck spammed. It was like I was being assaulted by some unseen but relentless enemy. I switched off the notifications on my phone and turned it over so I couldn't see the screen. Oh my goodness. Here you go.
ありがとう。わあ、こんなもので寝るのね。
Orihime spread out the sleeping bag, her eyes sparkling with delight. As to why she was getting ready to spend the night? You've gotta be kidding. My bike has a flat
お
tire?
父様、今日は出張で迎えに来られないそうですわ。
What? Could we maybe call a taxi? I got the feeling that she could afford something like that.
別に構いませんけど、お母様が泊まってきてもいいとおっしゃっているので。
Wow, your mom's pretty laid back, huh? I was not expecting
星を
that.
見るのに外泊するのは普通のことですし、 お母様も慣れてらっしゃるのよ。
Well, that made sense. Then again, stargazing wasn't the reason Orihime was away from home tonight. But it looked like she was spending the night in my room, whether I wanted her to or not. I guess it's okay. I hadn't looked at my phone since the noodle photo, but I'd probably be bombarded with even more messages if anyone found out about this. It's pretty late, so feel free to turn
あ
in.
なたはどうしますの？
I'm gonna work on this a little more first. I picked up the Ancient One's evil eye, examining the curve of its surface. I want to get it done as soon as I can. As I sat down to begin to work, Orihime regarded me quizzically.
早く完成させたい理由が何かあるんですの？
Well, yeah, you could say there is.
それは光さんと関係があるのかしら。
What makes you think that? She had caught me off guard, so I got a little defensive.
あなたがむつら星の会の活動に積極的になったのはあの方が来てから。その前は参加する気はないなんておっしゃっていたのに。
She saw right through me. Hikari's moving overseas at the end of winter vacation. This Dobsonian's first light could be the last chance I have to go stargazing with her. But only if we can finish it in time.
そうでしたの。
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring personal issues into this. Orihime shook her head.
個人的で結構よ。私たちはまだ出会ったばかり。みんな自分の事情でここにいるわ。でも、もしいつか本当の仲間になれるなら、仲間の事情はみんなの事情になるはず。そう、光さんが。私も悲しいわ。光さんと星を見られなくなるの。それは急がないといけないわね。
Even as she spoke, Orihime was struggling to keep her eyes open. She looked like she was just about to fall asleep. Please, go ahead and sleep. Sorry the lights are still on.
いいえ、起きてますわ。私も何か手伝いを。
No, you should go to bed. Get into the sleeping bag. You could catch a cold otherwise.
全然平気よ。もう子供じゃないんだから。
Orihime mumbled some half-hearted protestations, but climbed into the sleeping bag nonetheless. Huh? That was quick. Sounds of deep but refined breathing were already coming from the sleeping bag. She's completely let her guard down too. Maybe I did have some kind of special power that made girls feel completely safe around me. Either that or my masculine charm is non-existent. The simple repetitive work of sanding the mirror was enough to keep me awake for a little longer. I can't keep this up. I am so sick of sanding. A dream? I'd even started working on the mirror in my dreams. I could almost hear that scratching sound now. This noise wasn't from a dream.
起きましたの？
Ah! I nearly jumped out of my skin as I grabbed the blanket I'd been using and covered myself. What? Orihime, why are you in my bed? Last night, did Orihime and I... No, she actually seemed to be completely absorbed in sanding the mirror. That's not something you'd be doing the morning after an indiscreet night. Oh right, we both just slept here last night.
おはようございます、空見くん。
Morning. Guess you went back to work after you got up, huh?
ええ、うるさかったかしら。
No, it's fine. I did have some weird dreams, though. Ever since I started sanding that mirror, I couldn't get away from that damn scratching. It echoed around the inside of my head even when I slept. More importantly, I hope you haven't been depriving yourself of sleep just to get more work done.
そんなことありませんわ。ぐっすり寝て、おかげで早起きできました。光さんと星を見るために少しでも進めておきたいものね。
Orihime returned to her task with renewed enthusiasm. If you take the quarter past bus, you should get to Mako Academy on time. After washing and putting together a quick breakfast, I saw Orihime to the bus stop outside the school gates.
夕べは楽しかったわ。まるでキャンプみたいで。
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, but don't make a habit of it. You'll make everyone worry.
あら、私が一番年長なのに。
She gave a short laugh. At least she was aware of some of her shortcomings. I felt the smile spreading to my own face. When I looked at my phone earlier, I had several unread messages. Just imagining what they might say filled me with dread. But soon enough, the bus arrived.
ありがとう、空見くん。頑張ってひかりさんが行ってしまう前にロボソニアを完成させましょうね。
Yeah. Orihime gave me another of her winning smiles.
それじゃあまた。
Yeah, see ya. The doors closed behind her and the bus drove off. After watching it go, I started walking. Better head to work. My bike was out of commission, so I had to go on foot. And I'd probably run into Saya buying lunch and have to explain what happened last night. I plodded along the early morning road, trying out excuses in my head. It was the last day of our second semester of 6th
み
grade.
んな、いいですか？冬休みだからってくれぐれも危ない真似はしないように。危ないことってどんなことですか？そうですね。例えば、冷たい川で泳いだりとか。
んなアホなこと誰もしねえって。
去年の今頃やった人がいたはずだけど。
俺じゃねえもん。
させたのタケくんだったよね。ねえヒカリ。ん？
ああ、そうだっけ。
どうしたのヒカリ。
あ、別に。たけ、あんま先生に心配かけるんじゃないよ。
おめえにだけは言われたくねえよ。
Takeichi and Hikari's back and forth always made the whole class laugh.
笑い事じゃないんだけどね。
Miss Saotome gave a dry smile as her fingers massaged a certain spot on the back of her head. She did that a lot back then.
ヒカリン
Oh, it's Corona again.
何コロナ。
Yay, Corona. Corona's cute.
チョップされない。そんないつまでも子供みたいなことしないよ。ねえねえ、今日もアキ兄たちと遊ぶの？コロナも混ぜて。そうだね。
Hikari. After Miss Saotome wrapped things up with the class meeting, Hikari had dashed out of the classroom before anyone else. I caught up with her just outside the school gates. Where are you going?
別に。お腹空いたから早く帰ろうと思って。
Hikari had been acting weird all morning. She wasn't her usual friendly self, and it seemed like she had something on her mind. Well, let's walk back
い
together.
い。早く帰らなきゃだから。
どうしたのヒカリちゃん。
じゃあね。
Hey, wait a minute. How about tonight? Now that we're on vacation, we can stargaze all night.
コロナも。
Hikari?
やめとく。さやと言っといでよ。
So you're not coming? But we've been looking forward to winter vacation for ages. We'd hardly talked about anything else except for how much fun it would be to stay out and watch the stars until morning. And Hikari had been the most enthusiastic of all. What's wrong with you today? Did you eat something weird? It sounded like a joke, but at the time I was serious. I thought maybe she'd gotten poisoned by a strange mushroom or something. Why else would Hikari talk like that? But
飽きちゃった。星とか見るの、もう飽きちゃったんだ。だからもういいやって。ノートももう完成してるし、あとはさやと二人でやりなよ。じゃあね。
hey, wait, Hikari?
ひかりちゃんコロナ行くよ。
Corona cast a harried glance at me, then Hikari, and went after Hikari. What's up with her? Unable to fathom her behavior, all I could do was watch Hikari fade into the distance, followed by Corona.
ごめんなさい。遅くなって。
Yeah. Yeah.
ひかりは
Saya looked around for our friend. She said she's bored of us. She said she's done with stargazing. I had no idea what was going on. Where had all this come from? Well, I guess she'd always been the type to get bored quickly. She was constantly moving from one activity to another. But still, it was all too sudden. The main reason we've been stargazing so much was to stop Hikari from moving away, so the three of us could stay together. I couldn't just leave it alone. I had to find out the reason for Hikari's change in attitude. The little old man carefully examined the curve of the glass I'd been sanding.
ねえ、あの人が前に言ってたチャンプじいさん。
Shh! Don't call him that to his face. I silenced Hikari with a quick elbow jab. But yeah, this was the old guy we called Old Man Champ.
ひかり知ってるの？うん。なんかね、エッチな本を少年チャンプに隠して買ってくんだって。
I told Hikari about him when she was still using her Komako persona. Guys, he's gonna hear you.
そんな方が師匠で大丈夫なんですね。
Orihime must have overheard what Hikari said. She sounded worried. It should be fine. I'm pretty sure his skills are the real deal. Calling him an instructor was going a little far, but Champ was the one who had taught me about sanding and polishing mirrors. He used to work in the glass manufacturing industry, so he knows what he's talking about. As for how I ended up learning from him, we'd have to go back to last week.
鏡面研磨も自分たちでやる気なの？
That's the plan. Looking at the donations we've got so far, it doesn't seem like we'll be able to buy a ready-made one. Plus, Orihime and the others said they'd prefer it if we could make everything ourselves if we can. Our goal wasn't to create a really high-performance telescope. It was more about learning firsthand what was required to make one, what the different parts did, and how they came together. Learning how to do it from a book will be hard though.
そりゃそうでしょうよ。専用の道具だっているし。
Yeah.
誰かに習ったら？なんだったら紹介してあげるけど。
Really? You know someone like that? I jumped at the offer. It sounded too good to be true.
まあね。私らも昔自作やってたことあったし。あんたたちほどでかいのじゃないけど。
I guess a project like this wouldn't be out of character for the old Six Stars Club. You've gotta introduce me. Where do they live?
ここにいるわよ。
Huh? Oh, you mean it's you?
違う。私も少しはやったけど、教えられるほどじゃないわよ。
Then who... If right here meant inside the store, there was only one other person it could be. The little old man who was shying away from buying his dirty magazines while Miss Miharu was at the register.
はーい、じっさまー。
She beckoned to Old Man Champ, but he pretended he hadn't heard and continued to stare at the magazine rack.
たく、いい年してシャイボーイなんだから、適当に頼んでみなさい。
Miss Miharu gave me an encouraging pat on the shoulder, then disappeared into the back of the store. A few minutes later, Old Man Champ came up to the register. Just like always, he'd chosen a dirty magazine after much deliberation and hidden it under a copy of Champ Comics. What can I do for you? That'll be 702 yen. 1,000 yen, so that's 298 yen change. But first, would you mind if I asked you for a favor? After some negotiating, I agreed to Old Man Champ's terms and he taught me how to polish the mirror.
一体何者なの？
He was a glass craftsman that lived in Mikatsuki Village, but he retired when the dam was built.
ガラス細工とレンズ加工は違うんじゃ。
That's true, but according to Miss Miharu, this area used to be a real astronomy hotspot, so he had started grinding mirrors for reflecting telescopes after a friend commissioned him for work. So, while he wasn't technically an expert in lenses or astronomy, he'd made plenty of objective mirrors in his time. Apparently, he really liked the idea of the glass he'd worked on being used to look at the stars. Old Man Champ looked like he had something to say. What do you think? I leaned in closer, keeping a wary eye on the girls. Champ whispered to me conspiratorically.
まあいいじゃろ。もう少し削れたら次の段階へ進んでもええぞ。
Awesome, thank you. This old man really was shy around young girls, which seemed to include both my friends and my former teacher. I guess his idea of youth was a little different from mine, as was his passion for dirty
とこ
magazines.
ろで、分かっとるじゃろうな。
Yeah, leave it to me. I already found the place online. All that's left is to place the order and wait. I made extra sure not to let any of the girls hear that part.
何話してるんだろう。
We'd worked out our own secret deal. My part of the bargain was to get the old man some of his favorite magazines from an online dealer. There were some vintage publications with a real retro feel about them. For Champ, they took him right back to his younger days. Apparently he was shy in real life and no good with the computers or internet. Our store was maybe the only place he could get what he was looking for.
すまんのう小僧。
No problem. In return, he was not only teaching me how to sand and polish the mirror, but also lending me his old tools. That was the easy
お
part.
主には感謝しておる。お主がいるおかげで、わしはいつも安心してエロ本が買える。この年でエロ本を読むなんざ、みっともないと思うじゃろうが、ばあさんに先立たれたわしにとって、残された余生の数少ない潤いなんじゃ。
But it's one of the last. Oh, alright. Sir, I hope you'll keep coming by. You can count on my discretion.
ああ、信頼しとるよ。
ほんと何話してるんだろう。
なんだか分かり合ってる二人って感じだね。
なんだか微笑ましいですわね。
So we continued to make progress on the mirror. After Old Man Champ left, we all took turns sanding it. The surface of the glass gradually gave way to our efforts. After this, we'd be sanding with a finer abrasive to get the surface nice and smooth. And according to Champ, we were nearly ready to move on to that stage.
疲れるねこれ。アキト、これ毎日やってるの？
Yeah, more or less. I had a lot of free time after school and before bed, not to mention my lunch break during the day. I wouldn't want us to run out of time.
そうだね。
Hikari flashed me a smile and returned to her work.
アキトくん、そろそろ時間じゃない？
Oh, right. It was time for me to go to work.
もうそんな時間ですの？
Sorry, I know it's a pain coming all the way out here.
私はすぐ近くですけど、ひかりさんが。
Hikari School, Amahai, was right on the southern boundary of the city. The train journey was over 45 minutes each way. Although, that was much faster than it used to be.
いいって好きでやってることだし。
片付けるね。
Saya took the lead in getting the room back in order. Orihime got up to join her. Meanwhile, Hikari left to wash her hands.
アキト、ちょっと。
What's up? Hikari silently held out her hand.
返して。
Give what back?
とぼけるんじゃないの。本当にマジでお願いだから、あれをそのままにして日本を離れられないの。
She sounded more determined than ever. Whatever was in that letter, she did not want me finding out. What was I going to do now? Oh dang. Well, here's our first choice, guys. I didn't think I'd get here so soon. And also, does it look like the... this is interesting. I'll have to keep that save in specific for this. Oh, you're still watching. Hey. I'm surprised you're still here. So you're saying you vote keep it? Do Saya's route. I don't know, I'll have to see. Because I don't know what choices... Like, back with If My Heart Had Wings, the choices were a lot more evident, such as, oh, do you want to leave with Kotori and just have Ageha catch up later, or do you want to wait for Ageha? Like, that was very specific. Like, for example, what exactly am I going to learn from this letter if I keep it? It's like one of those things. But because you've already voted keep it, and you're pretty much the only one currently watching, I'll go ahead and pick this option. But I'll keep that safe spot there. In 4. No way.
なんでよ。
Because no. I shrugged.
こいつめ。コマコさんのログ、サヤに見せちゃってもいいの？
That was Hikari's trump card. But I always knew it was a move she could make, so I stood firm. Sure, go ahead.
ダメでしょ、さすがに。
Then why are you the one who's panicking?
だってもうアキトのバカバカバカバカ意地悪。
Ow, knock it off.
本当に困るんだって。せめて読まないで、私がいいって言うまでね。
I don't know about that.
お願い。
Something about the anguish in Hikari's expression made me lose the will to tease her anymore. Okay, fine, I won't read it.
本当？絶対だよ、絶対だからね。なんでそんなムスッとするのよ。
Never mind. I had no idea what was written in that letter, but to make Hikari this worried, it must be something important. And she didn't want me to read it no matter what. What had changed? What did she want me to know 4 years ago that she didn't want me to know now? The whole thing was starting to bum me out.
片付け終わったよって何してるの？
Nothing really, I was just talking to Hikari. But before I even finished speaking, Saya's face fell.
そうなんだ。またこっそり二人だけで話してたんだ。私だけ抜け者なんだ。
違うよ。これはそういうんじゃなくて。
どう違うの？だってこんなの私だけ。
Well, I mean, she's technically not wrong, but Saya's multicolored eyes filled with tears.
抜け者だもん。
違うの、さや。泣かないで。のけ者にしたんじゃないの。そうじゃなくて。
That's right, it was just some dumb conversation is all.
私もバカ話したい。
しよう、いっぱいしよう。なんだったらこの後アキトをのけ者にして。
Hey!
よし、じゃあどこかでケーキ食べて帰ろう。
My message didn't say. I lied, give her the letter, Saya is sad. I lied, give her the letter, Saya is sad. Oh god.
私も仲間に入れていただいてよろしいかしら。
I mean, I don't know, like, for all I know, maybe that choice didn't really have that big of an impact. But again, I'll keep the save file there, just in case. Do you think it would be alright, yeah, if I joined you? Or Hime said, raising a hesitant hand.
どうぞどうぞ。天文女子同士女子会しましょう。
Your message is sad if you meant the red ones that you put. Or at least it's showing for me as red. But it's a bit difficult, like, at like a glance to read. But, you know, I still got him.
そうと決まったら早速行こ
I would think if the card would be given to learn, she would say thank you. GTFO.
天文女子会いいですわね。
I mean, part of the reason why I did end up keeping it is because I am actually curious about what the heck is in there, because for all I know, it was maybe not even a love letter in the first place. Like, this whole assumption of it being a love letter is the thing. Maybe it wasn't even a love letter, maybe it was, maybe since around the time she was leaving, maybe it was a special type of like goodbye letter or something, or maybe even one that just outlined her true feelings about why she quote-unquote lost interest or bored of it. Like, I have no idea what that letter is. I mean, there's a common assumption that it's a love letter, but I don't think that really fits in currently. Otherwise, like, why would she really not want me to read it is the main thing. And I'm actually curious about what the heck is in there. So if it does give me an option, I will read it, because I'm legitimately curious about it. I've been left completely out of the loop on this one. Sure, have at it. Either way, I had to go to work. Anyway, at the very least, mirror grinding for the primary mirror was going well. I don't think it's a love letter. I think it's one of those I really hate. There's always a piece of secret. Yeah, like it might even be something like that. And she was technically still a kid when she wrote it. But if there's still a choice, again, because I do want to keep the major bridge points or any potential bridge points in check, I'll keep them as their own save file. Some time had passed since we had started on our Dobsonian telescope, and the way things were coming along, we decided to hold another meeting.
そっち支えててもらっていいですか。
Got it.
そこ持っちゃダメです。もっと根元を。
Ah, sorry. Today's meeting was out on the school grounds. Our club room was just a little too cramped. Keisuke, the other Monomisawa Astronomy club members, and I were all working to put together the Dobsonian telescope.
う。はあ、こんな風になるんだ。うわー、でっかい。
大きいですわね。
One of these is not like the other. No, I'm kidding. Corona's cool. I do like her currently. But again, the choice for which route I'll go down, still completely up in the air. I pretty much eliminated Orihime early on, but that one scene actually made her seem somewhat worth it. So, I don't know, it might be completely up in the air. And I still have no idea currently. Which is pretty crazy because, again, with If My Heart Had Wings, it was just, boom, Ageha, that was it. Two people have moves and the other one's alone. We mounted the body on the already complete stand. The primary mirror and some of the other delicate parts still weren't ready, so that was as much as we could do for the day. I do love Corona's hair though. Like, Corona's hair is actually awesome. Like, you see those two braids? It's actually a really nice touch. I really like it. Each school had taken care of a different part, so we had to try and put everything together to make sure the measurements all lined up.
やっぱ燃えるね。自作の望遠鏡。
I don't really know about this blue hair girl, but it looks like too big, so I don't like her.
はい。
The whole club from Nishi High was here. There were 4 members in all, including Narue, and one of their members was a guy. With that many members, they were actually the largest group in the Six Stars Club.
人の手の温かみが感じられていいですね。
Keisuke looked more like he was built to play rugby, but he was the head of the Moromisawa Tex Club. They had all their members present today, too. All 3 of them were just as big as Keisuke, which made for quite the sight. I was so used to being in a club full of girls, so I was kind of glad there were so many guys present.
おや、かよいずまちゃんたちが何かやってるぞ。なんだろうあれ。
all the students that were heading home after school or headed to their club activities were starting to take an interest in us. There we were, a group of 7 different school uniforms, gathered around some giant contraption. We were bound to draw attention. Wait, do you think you can root any of the 6 cards members? Not to my knowledge, I don't think. Again, the achievements give it away, but there's achievements for Hikari, Saya, Corona, and Orihime. I meant all of them, not any. Well, those are the 4 that I know for sure. I don't know if there's any others outside of those 4 currently. At least I don't really see achievements for them, so I have no idea.
ねえねえ、かよいずまちゃん、これ何してるの？
天体望遠鏡を組み立ててるんです。
このなんかの寄せ集めみたいなのが天体望遠鏡なの？
It's a work in progress. I could tell she was about to call it a mishmash of trash. Not as in a heartbeat. Each one of the schools had used their own scrap materials to make each of the parts. She's probably, in terms of appearance, my second favorite girl. Just in terms of appearance. And as if that wasn't enough, all the parts were different colors, making it look even more like a bunch of junk.
そういや、かよいずまちゃんの彼氏ってうちの天文部なんだっけ？
いえ、彼氏じゃ。
The ears of the Six Stars Club members all perked up upon hearing these girls talk about Saya's boyfriend. He just sent me a profile picture of Saya after Yeah, I do have a couple of screenshots lined
あの
up.
お二人、やっぱりそういう関係だったんですね。
I'm actually using one on Discord at the moment because it was a pretty memorable moment of the game. In terms of appearance, who's first in terms of a blue hair girl? No, Corona. I literally just mentioned that.
まあだろうね。私は分かってたよ、最初から。
というか、何ですか？かよいずまって。
Hashtag short hair master race.
じゃあね、かよいずまちゃん、またね。
はい、さようなら。
After she was done staring at her feet for a moment, Saya looked up to find everyone's eyes on her.
なんでしょう。
別に。
かよいずま。
She's so boring. She has those braids. And plus short hair master race.
ねえねえ、さやにかよいずまさせてんの？
I didn't make her, I think. Nah. Short hair is better. I was quick to deny it, but after thinking for a moment, it probably was my fault that she'd earned such a nickname. Anyway, let's just focus on finishing this thing. I figured it would be best to get back to work before I said something I would regret. The partially built Thomsonian telescope was absolutely enormous.
教頭は骨組みだけなんだ。
郊外へ出て観測するなら邪魔な光が入ってくることもありませんからね。
When you think of a telescope, you probably imagine something like a pipe, but that's not always the case. Ponytails are nice. The Thomsonian we were putting together lacked a lens tube and used only a frame with primary and secondary mirror. Short hair is still better. But again, that's just my opinion. The cylindrical tubes on telescopes were made to prevent any extra light from coming in from the sides, which would negatively impact image quality. But it also created airflow within the body, which has an impact on image quality too. Thomsonian telescopes are dependent on location, but if you use them in a dark area, you don't have to worry about the light. And by omitting the barrel, you also don't have to worry about airflow. Plus, it'll be lighter.
ここに主鏡をはめ込むのね。
We tried to picture what the completed telescope would look like while looking at our frame. It was a bit clunky and definitely looked handmade, like a telescope made of junk. Most of the curious people who came to see what we were working on probably couldn't even tell it was a telescope at all. But it was almost so shoddy looking that it was actually cool. We probably couldn't expect a whole lot in the way of image quality, but I was sure that at that point, everyone was thinking just one thing. What will the skies look like through our telescope? We'd worked so hard to polish and build it, so the stars we saw through it were sure to be special. Everyone was probably letting their minds run wild. Even someone like me, the astronomer who never looks at the stars, was excited.
寸法が合わない部分がありますね。詳細は僕らでやりましょうか。
そうしていただけるとスムーズで良いかと。
そうだ、写真。
And then, as if on command, one of the younger Nishi High students pulled out a camera from their bag.
ロブソニアンだけだと大きさが想像しづらいから、誰か横に立ってみて。姫さんがいいかな。
これでよろしくて。
いいね。そう、ブログのアクセスが最近伸びてるんですよ。
ジンナさんの写真のおかげでしょうか。ブログに載ってる写真すごく綺麗に撮れてますよね。
We also have to thank Noriko for updating it so regularly too. Noriko was a bit of a beginner and didn't really have much to offer in building the telescope, so she focused on updating the blog. The posts were brief, easy to read, and really captured the surprise and excitement that only a real beginner could offer. Noriko and Hikari's school, Ama High, was right on the southern border of Boshinonaka and was the closest school to the city. As it wasn't the best location for watching the stars, Ama High's astronomy club focused more on reading books and using computers. I guess that explained why they weren't so good at the technical sort of stuff. So with Narue's photos in the mix, people just started to take an interest in our activities. Or it could also be because the first thing uploaded was a picture of the lovely Orihime polishing a lens with a serious look on her face. Either way, more views was good news. Even our mistakes had turned out well in the end.
この前はブログのコメント欄のおかげで助かりました。
Someone had looked over our plans and left a comment with some advice for us. They even answered questions we had and helped us avoid making a few mistakes. There were even people from other astronomy clubs who dropped in to show their support, which really helped us all keep motivated.
最初は日に20アクセスもあればいいところでしたが、今では1日平均100件を超えてます。
Back at the start, those 20 hits were mostly just club members, so when you take that into account, we'd really come a long way. Orihime's face lit up at Honoka's comment.
世界中が私たちに注目している。
I'll back up there a little.
うつら星の会の存
It's
在
not the
を
whole world yet.
あまねく世界へ知らしめましょう。
Yet.
世界姫ちゃんたちすごい。
You see, how could you not like that XD face?
そうね。
Everyone except for Corona seemed less than excited. But this wasn't the first time they'd all had this conversation. Every time Honoka mentioned it, the whole scenario would repeat itself.
試供の研磨作業はどの程度進んでいますか？
Honoka was looking over at the construction charts on her tablet. We finished cutting it, and now we are working on the surface. Once that's done, it'll just need a bit of pitch polishing, and then we'll be set for a Foucault test. A Foucault test is used to determine if the surface is paraboloidal. It allows you to see shadows and those small dips and bumps on the seemingly flat mirror, which you can then smooth out into a finished product. We borrowed the equipment we needed for the test, and Keisuke also got some help in making the last wooden box piece. Okay, once it's all done, we just need our instructor, to take a look and approve it for us. Then we can send it in to get coded. Plating was the only part we couldn't do ourselves, so we had to ask the pros instead. That was the last step needed to complete the
会
telescope.
長、そろそろよろしいのでは？
Orihime nodded to Honoka's prompt.
ファーストライトの具体的な計画を立てましょう。
っていうと何を見るかだね。
Everyone started thinking long and hard after hearing Narue's words. When the Dumsonian was finished, what would we see? What did we want to see? And more importantly, what would we be able to see? We should probably start with something easy,
課
right?
題の精度も低いだろうし、目当ての星を探すのも一苦労でしょう。
だったらはいガリさん、クリスマスイブの夜がいいと思います。
I love these XP cases. They are so adorable.
はあ、望遠鏡でサンタクロースでも探そうっての？
じゃなくて、その日にやれば人も集めやすいじゃないですか。クリスマスイブの星空を見ようとか言って、ムツラ星の会のメンバー以外も人を呼んで大勢で観測会やったらいいんじゃないかな。
Everyone just sort of stared at
あ
Hikari.
れ、私なんかまずいこと言った？
それですわ。
Orihime grabbed her hand and started shaking it over and over.
それこそ私が考えていたムツラ星の会。
より多くの人に関心を持ってもらおうっていうのが会の目的ですもんね。そういった名目なら人を集めやすいと思います。次の日から冬休みだしね。
I pulled out my phone to see what the skies would be like on the 24th. The moon would set sometime in the afternoon, so the skies would be perfect that night.
クリスマスイブの星空。ロマンチックでいいですね。そこで星の解説などをやれば関心を持つ人が増えるかもしれませんね。
じゃあいっそクリスマスツリー星団でも見てみるかい？
何それ見たい。そんなのあるの？それにこの子もいます。
Saya panicked upon suddenly being singled
じゃ
out.
なくて、
Hikari raised her arm a little bit to point past
ラブ
Saya.
ソニア？ええ、だってほら。
Hikari gestured at all the people that had gathered around us. I hadn't noticed, but we were basically surrounded. Everyone seemed to be taking an interest in what this big thing in front of us was. They had no idea it was a telescope, but just the sheer size and look of it drew them in. I guess our Dumsonian telescope is the only billboard we really need.
当日は集まってくれた人たちにも見てもらえばいいんじゃないかな。
みんな驚くだろうね。自分たちで作った望遠鏡で星を見たことなんてないだろうから。いかがでしょう、会長。
満天の星に彩られた聖なる夜。採用ですわ。
場所は前にほうき星さんに教えてもらったあそこでしょうか。だとするとあの吹きさらしの山の斜面でどうやって寒さをしのぐかですね。
We have to not only worry about ourselves, but also about the general public that has no experience stargazing out on cold winter nights. How about we set up
アウ
tents?
トドア方面はアキトにお任せだね。
I'm not sure we have enough though, and rentals would cost money. There were only so many we could set up too. I thought it over a bit more before speaking up. You know, we have a place that could work. It took Saya a moment to realize that she was part of we, but when she did, she immediately nodded her head in agreement. You're fine with it too, right, Hikari?
あるでしょ、星を見るのにちょうどいい場所が。
There's a place I want to show you all. You guys have a moment? Everyone nodded hesitantly in agreement, still unconvinced. After we finished taking down the Dumsonian telescope, I led the entire Six Stars Club out to that old familiar place. It was a little far, but everyone stuck along to see where we would be setting up. Still though, we had to cross a dam, climb up the mountain, and make our way through a dark forest, so the people were definitely spooked. But that was only until we got there. The sky was painted brilliant orange as we made it up the mountain. Here we are.
なんですのここ。
駅だけど人がいない。無人駅だからってわけじゃないよね。
Everyone was both a little surprised and impressed as they looked over the crumbling station and the train that stood still in front of it. It used to be an unmanned station, but that's not why no one is
ずっ
here.
と前にこの先の線路が流されて、それ以来使われてないんです。
Everyone watched in silence as Hikari, Saya, and I headed up onto the platform. The three of us looked back at them from up top. So this place is...
私たちの秘密の天文台。
This is where the Mikazuki Astronomy Club was based.
ここで星を
The rest of them stayed a little ways away, staring at the abandoned train car.
素敵な場所。物語の舞台みたい。
廃墟だけど車両があるせいかなんだかまだ生きているみたいですね。
あの観測ノートはここで書かれたのね。
Yeah.
こんな場所だったんだ。アキ兄たちの秘密基地。
Kuroda said in a somewhat lonely tone. She had always wanted to come out here with us, but it was dangerous enough during the day, never mind in the dark of night, so I was sure her mom would have had a fit if we took her with us. Eventually, we kind of just stopped spending time with her. Well, come on then, get on up here. Orihime grabbed my hand timidly as I reached down to help her up. Once she'd made her way to the platform, the others began to follow. You're welcome inside too.
ほんとだ。中綺麗。
昔はよくここで一緒に寝たよね。
冬場の天体観測もテントいらずだったわね。
After we cleaned up a bit, all we needed were blankets and we could stay plenty warm through the night in here. We get to see the opposite part of the sky from over there too. Between here and there, we pretty much had a full view of the night sky.
いいのではないでしょうか、会長。素敵です。こんな場所で星を見るなんて。
でもいいのかしら。
Orihime said with a small frown. What do you mean?
ここはあなたたち3人の大切な場所なんでしょ。そこへ我々が大勢で押しかけて、観測会当日は知らない方々もいらっしゃいますわ。
The three of us glanced quickly at each other.
いいんじゃないかな。
うん、別にいいよね。
There you have it. It's not like we ever wanted this to just be our place. We just never had anyone else to take out here with us.
では使わせてもらいますわ。ここでみんなで星を見ましょう。
ええ。
楽しみだな。
どうしたのコロナ。
ううん。やっとコロナも仲間に入れてもらえたんだなって。
Aww. Hikari patted her on the head, messing up her hair.
よろしくね。
Hikari readied her hand for a karate chop.
冗談だよ、ひかりちゃん。
Mean faces. And with that, the whole lot of us came together and made preparations for our first light test. And we're back in elementary. I have 15 minutes to my normal stream time, but I'm not sure whether I should end it here or not. I think I will end off here for now. Seems like a decent enough place. We made one choice so far. I'll keep like all of these in page 4 to the different branch points, and if there's more I'll take it to like 5 or something. But this one will only be for like branch points. I guess this will be for progression. So either way, that is going to wrap it up. We've definitely progressed quite a bit. Again, we've made a single choice so far, As to what, like, how that's going to affect the ending, I have no idea. But either way, I do want to definitely find out what the heck is written in that dang letter that I both refuse to read and also refuse to return. So, regardless, if ever the time comes, I do want to read it for sure. That's the one thing I know about. If that ends up either A, taking me down, or removing me from Hikari's route, then so be it. Like, whatever happens in that regard, happens. But I'm way too curious about that letter that she doesn't want me to read. Other than that, yeah. This Dobsonian telescope is coming into fruition, as well as we found a place to settle in the future for stargazing activities, that being our old secret observatory, which I guess isn't so secret anymore, but hey, you know, we get to share our love for the stars with more people, so that's always a big plus. And yeah, that will end it off for now. So thanks to people who are watching, whether you're live here, which I know is Shelby if you're still around. Thank you very much for stopping by. Really hope you're enjoying this one. It's definitely a really great one for me. This soundtrack is amazing. Like, I enjoyed If My Heart Had Wings soundtrack, but this soundtrack I'm actually super excited for. If it ever gets released, which I really hope it does. So yeah. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you all next stream, which maybe I'll be returning to Reciteer. It's been a long while since I've played that. I mean, again, the main reason why I've been streaming this game particularly a lot is because the Steam Winter Sale is currently going on, and checking Steam at the moment, I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and most likely, like, even more to come, just on the backlog, and I am really shaky about balancing out 2 different visual novels. So I do want to get through this one as quick as possible, but I also don't want to completely forget about Reciteer. So that'll probably be next up on my stream schedule, which might be tomorrow, but if not, then just follow my Twitter, which should be over there, and you'll definitely be updated in terms of when I go live. And I'll try to make a tweet, let's say in the mornings, of days when I do plan to go live, and then an update tweet later on around the time letting you know I'm going live soon or I am live. So remember to pop a follow over there to my Twitter. And yeah, I'm wrapping it up here. I already saved, so I don't need to do that. And I could just add that to the title screen. So it looks like coming up next, we'll be dealing with the elementary years again. And we might be dipping into the point of the fallout, which should be very interesting to see, as the last time we were there, it seemed Hikari had fallen out or gotten bored of stargazing. So that definitely seemed like a big thing in terms of plot, and I would want to see more of that, but that'll have to be saved for whenever is the next time I end up streaming this game will be. And in the meantime, thank you all so much again for watching, and I'll see you all for my next stream, most likely finally heading back to more Reciteer. So look forward to that, and I'll catch you all then. Take care, everyone.